Okay, now let's do question 8. The diagram shows two charged horizontal metal plates, X and Z. The magnitude of these charges on the plates are equal. Okay, this is a quite important point. Okay, charges are equal. Okay, between the plates suspended stationary in the uniform electric field is a charged sphere Y. Okay, this question is quite similar to questions question 2, question 4, and question 6. Yes, 2, 4, and 6. So if you have time, please go and review them because they have the quite similar concepts. Okay, so now let's look at suspended stationary. What does this mean? Okay, suspended stationary, that means resultant force is 0. Okay, so let's draw. Okay, so the question is, what could be the signs of the charges on 3 components? That means what is the sign on X, Y, and Z? Are they positive or negative, and so on and so forth? So let's draw a free body diagram for sphere Y. As we know, the gravitational force must always point downwards, right? Okay, so we have F1 equals to mg. Okay. For it to have a resultant force of 0 to be stationary, there must be a upward force, correct? To balance this downward force of, let's call F2 equals to EQ. Okay, now let me just write that darker. Let's say so mg, no matter what, doesn't change. No matter what's the configuration, mg, the magnitude does not change and it always points downward. So now we have to find a configuration. In other words, we have to find a configuration for X, Y, and Z such that we have an upward force. Okay, I say again, we have to find a certain configuration such that we have an upward force, or a force pointing upwards. If let's say okay, let me look at E first. E is from if you look at your equations table, E is equals to V over D, or delta V over D Q. Okay, maybe I write it here. E is equals to delta V over D over times Q. Correct? So if delta V is 0, E will be 0. Okay, so notice for answer A and answers D. Okay, the plates, just look at the plates. Plate X is negative, plate Z is negative, plate X is positive, and plate Z is also positive. So if they have the same, if the magnitude of the charges are equal, okay, if then they have the same type of charge, delta V will be 0, correct? If delta V is 0, E will be 0, and F2 will be 0. In other words, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that if we have configurations for A and D, right, where they have the same type of charge, there will be no upward force. Okay, so A and D cannot, because no upward force, right? There's no upward force. No upward force. Okay, so now let's look at B and C. Let's just look at these 2 columns first. Okay, if let's say sphere Y is positive, right? Sphere Y is positive, and then plate X is negative, this will give me an upward force because my positive sphere will be attracted to the negative X. My positive sphere will be attracted to the negative X, right? So these 2 answers make sense. Let's look at these 2 answers. If sphere Y is positive and plate Z is also positive, therefore if this is positive and this is positive, what will happen? There will be a repulsive force, and this force also will, this plate, you can say this plate will push your positive sphere upwards, so you will have also an additional upward force, right? So both these these two combination and these two combination will produce upward force. So B can be potentially my correct answer. Let's look at C. For C, both sphere Y and plate X is positive. So if this is positive and this is positive, what will happen? We will have a downward force because they must repel, right? If this positive and this positive, they must repel, and it will repel sphere Y downwards. So you will have a downward force, which is not what we want, okay? And furthermore, if we look at compare sphere Y and plate Z, if Y is positive and Z is negative, they will want to attract each other because they are opposite charges, right? So this will also contribute a downward force, right? Which is not what we want. What we want is the upward force. Hence, C cannot be the answer, and answer is B.